You guys may be able to see it. How's that look? You like that? I think it turned out really well. It's so vibrant. It's a really cool poster though. Yeah. Did you see the movie? No, I've never watched Demon Slayer.
Wow, that's actually a really cool poster from that anime I like. What was your favorite scene?
I don't have a favorite scene. I've never watched it. I like the pretty colors, and that's all. Food insecurity is one of the most critical things the Vanguard Party should prevent. Things like direct action, mutual aid, lots of these things can help. But unfortunately, due to many factors outside of our control, lots of people have been pushing to make sure that people forget completely about mutual aid. Anyways, let's talk about these food banks real quick. U.S. food banks race for demands as Republicans end unemployment benefits. 19.3 million adults said in late May that their households didn't get enough food to eat, while several states started to cut benefits. Actual literal ghouls Republicans are. Like this, I don't know how much more ghoulish you can get, as the people in your states are literally telling you that they don't have enough food. You cut money from them while they have no food. For what reason? So I don't know, Green Line can go up. Green Line won't even go up from this. Several states across the U.S. have started to voluntarily end federal extended unemployment benefits, as governors in at least 25 states have announced intentions to do so. Food insecurity among Americans surged during the coronavirus pandemic and has remained significantly higher than pre-pandemic levels. According to the U.S. Census Bureau data, more than 19.3 million adults in late May said their households didn't get enough food to eat, sometimes and often in the previous 7 days. So in the last week, in a week time period, sometimes didn't have enough food and often didn't have enough food. In the richest country in the world, people keep saying, we don't have enough food to eat, compared to 8.5 million adults who didn't get enough to eat at some point during 2019. 8.5 million. That's closing in on 3% of the entire US population who didn't have enough food to eat. We're still distributing about 1 million to 1.5 million more meals each month than we did pre-COVID. So here's the thing. Republicans will talk here's a really fucking big thing, okay? Republicans will talk so highly over how much like conservatives give to charity. You know what they don't do? Make the conditions to where the charity doesn't have to exist, okay? It doesn't matter to me how much money you give to like Feeding America when you make the political conditions to where these people had to go to them in the first place. We shouldn't need charity. Charity shouldn't be something that exists. Not even mutual aid should be really something that exists, because we should be able to take care of everyone's needs. But we don't. And that's not only and that's deliberate. It's not a mistake. These things happen for a reason. People can't eat for a reason. Republicans are pushing to make sure these people still can't eat for a reason. And has none of your interests in mind. We hope it's not going to take 10 years to get our food insecurity rates back down to pre-pandemic levels, but that's the kind of timeline we're looking at. Just so you know, this next surge in food insecurity comes just over 10 years after the Great Recession. And many of the places that are suffering from food insecurity right now did not recover from the food insecurity that they had when the Great Recession rolled over. People are still suffering from those effects. There are many places in this country that have not rebounded from that, and they're hit again while they're down. And Republicans couldn't care less for their suffering. They actively laugh. Who was it? One of the senators recently was talking about how people couldn't eat, and he said, "The market has spoken." That's all he had to say. The market has spoken. Oh, you're going to starve? Oh, the market has spoken. Oh, you don't have enough. You don't have enough money to keep the lights on? The market has spoken. Well, I don't want people's life and well-being to be dictated solely by a market. That's just me personally. I don't want people to be completely financially destitute, and that can be contingent on just a market. That doesn't seem like a very that seems like a very cruel society. We can see a correlation between the addition or elimination of household financial benefits. Thomas Mantz, the CEO of President of Feeding Tampa Bay, which provides a variety of food relief services to communities in the Tampa area. So when we see stimulus checks go out, we do see less people in our lines. When we see additional unemployment checks, we see less people in our lines. Conversely, when those things stop, our numbers swell. About 68% of the people showing up in food bank lines at the start of the coronavirus pandemic had never been in one before. 68%. This is remarkable. Not only are you hurting just regular poor people, now you're 68% are new poor people. Man, that's beautiful. Oh, America, you're really doing it. Look at those numbers. Is this the line that you want to go up? I know Republicans care so much about lines going up, but I gotta tell you, this is not one that I think that we should be cheering about. I gotta tell you. Currently, Mans noted that their demand is about 35% higher than pre-pandemic levels, where many food relief organizations were already struggling to keep up with those levels, level of funds, resources, and food. And this, ladies and gentlemen, and MB Friendies, is where you come in. A little call to action here. Engage in a little bit of direct action. Engage in a little bit of helping out your local Feeding America, feeding wherever you are, food drives to help some people out. This is not going to be helped by Republicans. It's going to be actively hurt by Republicans. They want to see people starve. And I don't want to hear anybody be like, "Oh, there's a great people, you're stoking the flames of political division." No, bitch. They did when they made those people starve. It's not me. I'm just reporting on what's actually happening. You can't sit here and tell me that you make lines that your direct policy makes lines in food donation drive centers swell by 35% and sit here and tell me you care about homeless people, that you care about the working class. And 68% of those people have never stood in a food drive line in their entire lives. You can't sit here and tell me that you care about these people, that you care about children. And not only that, they're looking to of the numbers of people asking for help getting SNAP benefits, WIC benefits to help actual people with literal children. And they're trying to tell me that they care about kids. Get off my dick, dude. This is the most ridiculous thing I've heard in my entire life. Not caring about the homeless is giga cringe. And not only just homeless, like don't leave it to just homeless. There are people who have homes who are on the very cusp of being homeless. And just because they're a paycheck away from not being homeless doesn't mean when they walk down the street and see a homeless person and knows that could be them by the end of the month, if something doesn't happen, if like some miracle doesn't happen, that person doesn't mean any less. We need these unemployment benefits a lot. And here, let me show you how much we need it. 1 in 4 workers relied on unemployment aid during the pandemic. 25% of our workforce needed unemployment aid. 25%. And they're trying to snatch that from them. That's the $300 is literally bare minimum. I believe personally. $300 is a lot when you have nothing, but it can be sucked up very quickly when you have a lot of bills. And poor people usually have a lot of bills because being poor is expensive. You've ever been there? Ever been in a house where you guys are living paycheck to paycheck? Let me tell you, you learn the value of $1 very quickly in a household that doesn't have too much to spend. Very, very quickly indeed. This is actually horrendous. It's incredible. Yeah, and right now Republicans are talking about how much they care about stopping abortions. But the thing is, they want to make sure those kids come into the world and instantly throw them into a house of starvation and couldn't care less what happens. Don't want to give them health care. The likelihood of a kid dying increases dramatically when they don't have health care, when they don't have food security, all of these things. And Republicans couldn't care less. They probably actively laugh. Who knows? I don't know. All I know is it doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, whether they're laughing or crying or ambivalent, no matter what they say, at the end of the day, they're going to be voting for the same party. They're going to be voting party line against all of the policy that could possibly make this situation better. They couldn't care less. This is where we are, with food banks already at their brink, having to make do with what they have. Republicans try to make their existence even worse. Get active. Do something. Maybe over the weekend, go down to your local Feeding America and donate a little bit of your time. You have some cans of like non-perishables that you may not be using. Maybe they've just been sitting in your pantry for a little bit. Go donate them. Have a pair of shoes that you haven't worn. Go donate them. Your time, your resources, anything. Have some friends do it too. I don't know. Make it a little Saturday adventure. It could be fun, and you get to spend some time with some people. They need you. They need us. Because the people with actual power, with the real hands on the levers of the country, they're not going to do anything. So us on the ground floor, together, we can make a change. You can save a life out there. Don't think you won't. Anything that you can give, anything that you can do can save a life. Go try.